Welcome back, Algebra 1 students. We are going to take what we've talked about in the previous two videos and just kind of put them together today. We were multiplying monomials, different monomials on the first video, and on the second video we were taking the same monomial and multiplying it over and over again. And so this is just kind of a combination of both of those things going on. So just to kind of review with you real quick on your assignment today, the first 6 problems are going to be multiplication problems. In other words, you're going to be multiplying 2 different monomials together. And so remember, the idea behind doing that is you start by just multiplying the numbers together. We multiply, in this case, the 12 and the 3 together to start with. So what do you get when you multiply 12 times 3? 36. And so we would have 36 as part of our answer. And then we want to go back and we want to look at the variables. And so in this case, we have v to the 6th in the first group and v to the 4th in the second group. And so the idea here is if we were going to write this down, we would write down 6 v's, and then we would write down 4 v's. And so altogether, how many v's would I be writing down to multiply? Well, I'd be writing down 10 of them, 6 in the first group, 4 in the second group. And so in my answer, I'm just going to represent that by saying v to the 10th, meaning I'm going to take whatever v is and I'm going to multiply it 10 times. So my answer is just 36 v to the 10th. And so that's what we did in the first video, is we multiplied different monomials like that over and over. And then in the second video, we took the same monomial and we multiplied it over and over. So in this case, when we have x to the 5th with a little 2 on the outside of it, remember what that 2 means is we're going to take whatever this monomial is, so in this case x to the 5th, and we're going to multiply it this many times, in this case 2. So what you need to do is you need to think about rewriting that as a multiplication problem, like the problems we just did. So instead of thinking of it like this, what you want to think of instead is think of it as x to the 5th times x to the 5th. And now do it just like we did the last problem. So you don't have any numbers to multiply on this one, so you don't have to worry about that. So now we're ready to think about the x's. How many x's are you going to write down from the first group of x's? 5. Okay, how many x's are you going to write down for the second group? You're going to write down 5. So how many x's will you write down altogether from both of these groups? 10. And so our answer would just be x to the 10th. And so that is the same monomial multiplied, in this case, twice. All right, so when you get to the end of your assignment, kind of the first part of your assignment, it's all different monomials. The second part of your assignment, it's all the same monomial multiplied multiple times. But when you get to the end, they're kind of mixed together. And so you may have one problem that looks like this, where it's y to the 15th times y to the 17th, 2 different monomials you're multiplying. Whereas then the next problem might be this, where it says x to the 7th with a 5 outside of it, which means you're taking this one monomial and you're multiplying it over and over 5 times. So make sure you understand the difference there. So the first one here, y to the 15th times y to the 17th, there's 2 different y's there. They're 2 different monomials. And so if we were going to write that down, I sure wouldn't want to, but how many y's would we be writing down altogether? Well, we would write down 15 y's from the first group, 17 y's from the second group. And so if I counted that up, 15 plus 17, I'm going to have written down a total of 32 y's. And so my answer for that one would be y to the 32nd. Okay, in the second problem that I have up here, x to the 7th with a 5 on the outside of it, remember what that means. If I was to rewrite this as a multiplication problem, I would write down x to the 7th, and then I would write it down 5 times, once for each number I see out here. So to the 5th power means I'm going to write it down 5 times. So x to the 7th times 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 x to the 7th. And so when I look at that problem, how many x's have I written down altogether? Okay, well, I've written down 7 from the first group, 7 from the second group, 7 from the third, 7 from the fourth, 7 from the fifth. And so if I add up 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7, that's a total of 35. And so my answer would be x to the 35th. So make sure that you understand on this one, I added the 15 and the 17 because there were 2 different y's. This one, there's only one x. So I take that same thing, I write it down 5 times, and then I add the 7. So there's like an extra step on this problem because of the way it's written. It's kind of been abbreviated, and so we have to expand it back out before we just add things together. So make sure you understand the difference there. But that's what you're going to be working on today, is you're going to be working on multiplication problems and exponent problems with these monomials. So good luck with that. If you have trouble getting the right answer, make sure to send me an email, send me a message through Canvas Messenger, and I'll try to get back with you and help you out with that. But that's all I have for you today, and so good luck. That's all there is, folks.